Welcome back to Laurie's Stories. I am your host, Laurie, and I am glad you are tuned in today and listening. My co-host, Luann, is on vacation, so she is not here today, but she is, as always, our behind-the-scenes girl who makes it all happen. So shout out to her, even though she's not here. Oh my goodness, we did skip I guess we skipped was it the June podcast or was it the July one? Yes, we skipped the July podcast. Yes, because we did the June one where I had just came back from Africa and we talked about all things Africa. And then we did decide to skip the July one because there was just so much going on. We hosted our 5th annual fundraiser event here on our property, which is always just a big deal. It's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work, and we do that for the wells in Africa. So we did that, and then we came right out of that into a family camping weekend for the 4th. So there just wasn't any time to get a podcast out. And Luann did put out a post for that there won't be one in July. So hopefully you saw that. Sorry about that. But now we're back. This will be the August one. And I am going to talk about community today. And I kind of wonder what that means to you. What does that word mean to you? Community. We're going to talk about that, unpack it a little bit. I'll share with you a little bit some of my experience around community, having had it and then not having had it, and now having found not one, but maybe 2 or 3 different communities. So stay tuned for that. I thought I would maybe start by reading a page out of my book. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the cover here. This book is called Joy in the Journey, 365 Whispers of Hope, and you can find it on Amazon. It's a 365-day devotional. And I chose the page today that is called Amish Roots, because it is about community, and I talk about one of the big fundraiser events that we host here every year. And having just come out of that, I thought that seems kind of fitting to give you a little glimpse of what it is that we do. And if you are ever in the area for that weekend, you are welcome to join us. Our last one was July, oh my goodness, my date's July, I don't know, the last weekend in July anyway. It was our best one yet that we hosted here on our property. We had the best turnout, we had the best end results, and we're just so extremely grateful for everybody that helped us make that happen. Whether you're listening to this or not listening, I'm thanking you, because it takes a village, and we have a tremendous one that has gathered around us and partnered with us for our Africa mission. So let me read you this page, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's see. It is called Amish Roots. For as in one body we have many members, and the members do not all have the same function. Romans 12:4 is so very true. We all have different parts to play in the big picture of life. I saw this so clearly over the weekend as we gathered together early Friday morning to prepare food and lots of other things for the evening fundraiser. Everyone pitched in. These are the times that remind me of living in the Amish community. We came together, and the work would vanish under many willing hands. The B&B was buzzing with one woman in charge of the pies. She is very good at baking pies and produced 45 pies in record time. My sister-in-law took charge of the potato salad, and under her direction and skill, turned 50 pounds of raw potatoes into appetizing homemade potato salad. Another good friend took charge of the shop and set up all the auction items perfectly. Her gifts of of organizing, managing the money, and auction kept things flowing smoothly. My 2 nieces took care of the food table all night, along with their husbands. Another friend and her 4 daughters served pie and ice cream all night. Other good friends grilled all the meat for the evening. The band came all the way from Nashville and sang their hearts out. The fireworks people gave us a spectacular show. Still other neighbors, friends, and strangers donated amazing items for the auction. Several different prosperous businessmen helped us sponsor this event. My heart bursts with gratitude watching it all unfold and seeing the beauty and power behind people gathering together and everyone contributing to what they are good at. I sense Jesus himself smiling in those times of people working together in unison. The water we will be able to provide to Africa through events like these. Whole villages will be blessed every time we have the funds for one more well. A huge thank you to the wonderful, caring, giving people we get to do life with, amazing people, and to say we are blessed is an understatement. And the prayer declaration, Jesus, will you personally bless and reward every single man, woman, and even children who poured out their hearts for you this weekend. May it come back to them many times over. So this is a perfect example of community. And even though I wrote this a couple years ago about this particular evening, these events continue to unfold almost exactly like this. By now we have different people doing different things. Like I think this year, Ernest's mom, shout out to you, was in charge of the potato salad. Same woman made the pies. We have more and more businessmen stepping up to the plate saying, I'll sponsor this and I'll sponsor that, which is absolutely phenomenal because at the end of the night when we total up everything, that is all costs that we don't have to take out. So one more huge shout out to our sponsors, to our business, to the businessmen that have stepped up and sponsored a whole bunch of different things for that event. We are just so grateful. And it is one of my favorite nights of the whole year when community and family and friends gather for a good cause. And not only do we raise a bunch of money, but we have fun doing it. I mean, what's not to love about gathering around food and a good old auction and homemade pies and homemade potato salad and children in the bouncy houses and laughter and fireworks and music, and just tie that all together and it's a big old fun family event. But at the end of the night you raise thousands and thousands of dollars. Only God can come up with beautiful things like that. So to our community here that helps make these events possible, and some of you travel a good little ways, I say thank you. I say thank you on behalf of the people in Africa who will benefit from this fresh water. We are so, so grateful, and they are so grateful. And I saw that firsthand when I was there last month in Africa. I heard the people. I saw their tears. I sat with them. I hugged them. I saw them come to these wells and get fresh water and carry it away to their families. And so I guess you could say my passion for this mission is bigger than ever. And I am, so grateful. And, so I just want to say, often things we can't accomplish by ourselves, we can accomplish that when we surround ourselves with community. And so I guess that's why I want to talk about community today, because it's important. It's important. So I want to ask you a question to start with, and that is, do you have community? Do you have people around you that you can do life with? What does it look like for you? And then maybe, what do you long for? What would you long for in community? Is it something you can create? Is it something that you can become a part of? Those are all questions I had with absolutely no answers for a very long time. After my husband and I brought our children back here to Wisconsin, after we lived out west for 8 years, and we had ready-made community, we came back here, and I just felt like I had no community. I felt like I didn't belong anywhere, and it was a very hard season of my life, of feeling like, just feeling like I don't have community, that I don't fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in with my Amish culture anymore, and I didn't fit in with the current culture that we were kind of thrown into, and I was often lonely. I was longing for community, and I wasn't even sure anymore what that looked like, but I was pretty sure that it looked a certain way, though. I was pretty convinced that it has to be a group of people living in close proximity, almost on top of each other, and we all have to think the same. We all have to have we have to think alike. We have to maybe somewhat look alike, and we have to, have the same goals and the same visions and the same dreams. And I was looking for something that wasn't here. It wasn't here because we had left that Amish culture. That's largely what community looks like in the Amish. They do live very close together. They do largely think alike. They do largely dress alike, and they take care of each other. If there's a need, they fill that for each other. If there's a new baby, they take in food. If there's a hospital bill, they help each other pay that. If somebody's in the hospital, they do chores at home or whatever. If there's a need, they fill that. So that's what I was looking for when we moved back here. And I couldn't find it. I could not find it. Because remember, I thought it had to look a certain way. Sometimes I felt frustrated and even angry that I had lost my ready-made community. We had lost our ready-made community when we left the Amish culture. So I want to say, there's a lot I could say about my Amish culture and why we left, but I do want to say that I do believe that community is one thing that they do so well. It's the one thing, it's probably the thing that I missed the most, that I did miss the most when we left, was that community. Not having ready-made friends, not having, people that I knew that, okay, I'm going to see them every week, we're going to do life together, was probably the hardest part for me of leaving the Amish culture. But what if I was making it too hard? What if you're making it too hard? Because, often in life we do that. We want something, but we get so fixated on how it used to look or what we used to have that when God moves us into a different season, we can't see maybe what's right in front of us or what He wants for us now because we're expecting it to look exactly like it did in the previous season. And that is just often not the case. Life comes and goes in seasons, and things will look a little bit different in each season. And that is what I finally and ever so slowly came to realize myself, was that maybe it was right in front of me all along, and I just couldn't see it. I do believe that now, looking back. I do believe there was community waiting for us, but it didn't look like the way I thought it would, so I completely cast it away. I disregarded it. I didn't want it. I didn't want that community. I was like, that's not, how am I going to grow there? How am I going to move forward, with my goals, dreams, and desires if I don't see that in these people, and it was this tug of war, like almost like feeling like I need to protect myself. And I think that's a very small-minded way to think and to live. What if community is much bigger and much easier than we've made it out to be, than I was making it out to be for sure? So let me kind of tell you what happened, okay? So after I was done feeling sorry for myself, fuming, fussing, complaining and whining to God, I slowly started, kind of opening my eyes and seeing like what's right in front of me. And I'm ashamed to say how many years this took me. It was a long time. It was a long time for me to get to that spot. So if you're in that spot, I just want to ask you, give yourself grace, give yourself time, but start looking around, start asking yourself, what's right in front of me? Because that is so often how life is. What we're desperately longing for, needing, wanting, it's often right in front of us. Why wouldn't it be? Why would God put us somewhere where we wouldn't have what we need to thrive, right? So think about that for a bit. What is right in front of you? Who is right in front of you? And if there and what can you do to create something? If you're longing for community, what can you do to start community? I know for me, I started a Bible study. I gathered a handful of women and started a small community and created that for quite a few years. I have since let that go now because of a lot of other things in my life. But that was one way I did that. Another way that my husband and I have always created community is simply inviting people over for a meal. I know I've talked about that before. Now, does that mean that we always agree and are always on the same page with those people? Absolutely not. It's not about that. It's not even about that. But I sure used to think it was, which just really, really, really limits you after you leave the Amish community. Because once you leave that, now you start to think for yourself. You start to think differently. You start to have your own thoughts and trusting your own thoughts instead of always trying to make it look like somebody else or measuring it with what somebody else is thinking or doing or feeling. You start listening to yourself and your partner, of course. You are now with your children. You are a community, and so that's one community that we have created. We have built from scratch, from the ground up, is our amazing children and now their children. And that became so evident again to me when we went camping over the 4th of July. All of us together for a couple days and a couple nights. We are a little army. We are a little community. And my absolute favorite community, if I say so, if I dare say so, but I think I should say so. Very true. Just love it. Like, the next generation. And then we play some games that go way back to like when Ernest's mom taught us. So we're bringing that into our traditions and teaching it to the next generation. It's such a fun around the campfire game. If you ever want to know what it's like, reach out to me and I will tell you how to play that game. It is so much fun and we always laugh so much. And now this time we were able to teach the 2 oldest grandsons, Zion and Xander. So much fun. Okay, Luann's going to say I'm going off on a rabbit trail, and I probably am. But anyway, all that to say, we had a wonderful time camping. Our family is one community that we do life with all the time, constantly. And probably the closest example of maybe, all thinking the same somewhat or all being on the same page. So it's beautiful. It's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite community that I'm a part of, that we're a part of, that we have created, that we have found. Okay, so that's one. Do you have family? Are you creating family? Maybe you're not, maybe you're not associated much with your extended family, like I too am not. But what are you creating? Build on that. Think about that. What am I building? What am I creating? You're creating a little community. So do it carefully, do it diligently, do it with purpose. And then another community that we have found and been a part of for the last 20 years, even when we were in the process of coming out of the Amish, we were a part of this, but I don't think I appreciated it as much back then as I do now. And that is our Conklin family. Amazing community of people and businessmen and men and women, I should say. That is the company where we buy our products from for the roofing that my husband and our sons do. They have a family business together, and we buy our product from this company. And a lot of others do too. So several times a year, we get to all be in the same place and we brainstorm together and we celebrate and we eat way too much food and we inspire each other. So that is another one of my favorite families, Conklin. If you ever have more questions about that, you can also reach out to me on that. We have so many friends in that community, and they are also a huge part of our Africa mission. So we're so grateful for them as well. And it's a good place to raise has been a very good place to raise our children with those values and the vision of the Conklin Company. We've always felt comfortable taking them to the events and the seminars and all of that. It's been a tremendous blessing in our life. And then we have our neighborhood that would all of us would do anything for any one of us. And we are a community, a very, very blessed community, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I absolutely love and adore our neighborhood. So recently, our next door neighbor was, I think he's 90. He's almost 90. Maybe he is 90. And his wife is from Taiwan, and she had an opportunity to go back to Taiwan the first time in many, many years. And also while they were gone, they were celebrating, I think, like a 50th wedding anniversary or something like that. But he was home and she was in Taiwan. So his daughter reached out to me from, I'm not sure where she lives, maybe Chicago, and asked me if I would be willing to go check on him just once in a while on weekends. And I just felt so privileged to be able to do that, and just loved it, just popping in and, making sure he's okay and visiting for a while and bringing him food. And I just love when neighbors can do that, when we can look out for each other and be there for each other. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Again, do we all think, look, and act alike? Absolutely not. We're probably very far apart in what we believe in our, a lot of that, politics and all of that, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're still a community that looks out for each other. And that to me is beautiful. And then we have our 2-6 pulling class family. I call them family too because they truly are. They truly are. There's probably, how many of us are there? Maybe 10, maybe 12 when we're all together. And we've become a family. We've become a family where we hang out together. We cook good food together. We never plan we never say, okay, it's your turn. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Nope. Somebody just says, okay, we're grilling steaks tonight. Everybody's invited. And what that looks like, literally, is we show up at their semi or toter or whatever it is, however they haul their pulling truck. We show up there with our chairs and we literally get to sit there, and they will make the food and they will Everybody serves themselves, and it is so much fun. Like, I missed the last one, and I was so sad. They grilled steaks. They're amazing steaks, the Jensens. It was so delicious. Our Jensen friends, they have a farm, and they grilled steak for everybody. They've done it before. Who does that? I mean, that's not cheap, but they do it for us because we're their pulling family. So they feed us. And the last one I got to be a part of was other friends that grilled chicken for all of us, and somebody else made a salad, and it's beautiful. I just love it. It's so fun, and it's a family. It's a community. Again, do we all think alike? Do we all look alike? Absolutely not. We're all, a lot of them are a little rough around the edges, and so are we in our own way. I'm sure they think we have rough edges too, and we do. We all do. We all just get to show up and be exactly who we are. No pretense, no performance, just this is who we are, and we all accept each other, and we eat together, and we laugh together, and we pull trucks together. And it is this class inspires me so much in the fact that these guys all compete against each other, and it's a tight class. It's a very tight class, and yet they all have each other's backs. They all would do anything for each other to help that person win even, and yet they're all competing against each other. I just think that is just a beautiful thing, and I've learned so much from being a part of that community. So shout out to my husband to getting me in there. Kept inviting me until I learned to love it. And now, it's just another beautiful thing, another beautiful community that we get to be a part of in our life. And I am so grateful for that. Community is still so important to me because we had that for so long. It's a part of my very core, and something that I will always need, I feel, to thrive, to be able to thrive in life. And I know that people are different. Not everybody might need that. Like, for instance, my husband is way more extroverted and doesn't always feel that need that I do for community. But yet he's also a part of every one of these that I mentioned, except for he was never a part of my Bible study, of course not. But so it's just, maybe you don't feel that need for community. So I would just say, if you don't, that is okay too. That's okay. Don't feel like you need to be striving for something that isn't you even. But if you are looking for community, I just want to say again, look who's around you. Look what's right in front of you, where God has planted you, where you live, where you are settled. And then if it's something that isn't ready-made, if it's something that you don't have, create something. Start somewhere. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard and complicated sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. So I really hope that encourages somebody. If you are lonely, or if you are looking for community, if you are lacking in community, because there's a part of me that believes that we were not necessarily maybe meant to do life alone. Oops. So I just think community is a beautiful thing. And I believe that we can accomplish much more in community often than we can alone. So I hope you feel encouraged. Feel free to comment. If you watch on YouTube, comment. Please, wherever you watch, if you would like it, and share it, and reach out to us, reach out to me about any of those things that I mentioned. I would love to hear from you. And the more you help us share this, the more people we can reach, and the more it makes it worth our time to do these. So until next time, I hope that your August is blessed and beautiful, and that you find and live in community.